my god, this water is beautiful. I actually haven't played this map yet. This is one of the more urban maps in Isonzo. You know, the sequel to Verdun and then the sequel to Tannenberg. This is set in the Italian Alps. Well, not specifically this map. This map is set in a village. But my, did they upgrade the graphics massively. You see, when you actually play them back to back, as I have been doing for this series of videos, you really notice the improvements. I don't necessarily think I did, admittedly, when Isonzo first came out. It kind of just felt very similar to, well, what we had in Verdun, but no, they definitely did something here. They definitely did something. Oh, the long-range shot right in the back. It still has that satisfying ping as you shoot into an enemy. And of course, the realistic guns that you can't reload unless you've emptied the whole mag. Ooh, someone's popping grenades over here. That's not very nice. The improvement on lighting and sound design has gone up massively since the last couple of games. And, I mean, you would expect it. It has been a few years. And this one only released last year, so they've definitely had the time. And I guess they have the budget now. But even if we just compare the mustard gas here, if I click back to a bit of Verdun that was playing earlier where there was mustard gas, boy, the difference is insanity. There's a guy poking his head up there. So did they actually really change anything other than setting and weapons? Well, yes, they did. You see, whilst Tannenberg and Verdun were popular, and specifically Verdun being very popular, they had many, many issues, especially mechanic-wise and gameplay-wise. I think people were always talking about how clunky the weapons were, and being a World War I game, you really need to get that right. But still trying to be authentic to how horrific the guns were at the time. That learning curve, getting used to bolt-action weapons, is still there, but there is definitely a wider range of at least being able to unlock more machine guns and light machine guns, so on and so forth within the game. We are just completely being pinned down here by a sniper. I need to move location, but I don't think I'm going to make it, if I'm going to be honest. Oh my... They are all coming down off that hill now. This is going to be a pain to try and take these lads out. They are so far away and they blend in so well. You see, their commitment to historical accuracy makes the game look and sound awesome, and I am now bleeding out of my wazoo. However, God, does it make it tricky to find people. Just get a quick bandage in here, otherwise we are going to bleed out. Oh, I'm also injured, means I need a medic, but I don't think there's anyone around, or at least no one alive. The game unfortunately launched with a ton of bugs. I mean, I was in the early playtest and I experienced so much, and even on launch, things like the sniper rifle not having a proper scope was a massive issue, and I think it put a lot of players off. Most of the negative reviews are talking about, well, one thing, bugs, but also comparing it to a Battlefield 1, and it does make me feel like a lot of the people that came into it were hoping that it would be another Battlefield 1, and were not very happy when it wasn't, because, you know, bolt-action rifles, not exactly the same. Is there a lad up there? Did I just see? Oh my god, this is actually terrifying. The immersion in this game is just another level, and this is why I think that it is so underrated and deserves way more love. Hello. Oh great, that's all it took to level up my marksman, was to get one kill of a guy in the chest. There's an engineer there as well. There's a guy right there. He's seen me. I've also seen him, but I don't have a shot, and I need to reload this goddamn gun before he gets a shot on me. There was also a massive issue with cheaters on launch, and unfortunately it didn't look like the devs were doing too much about it. Now, I haven't experienced anything right now, so maybe they've changed that up a bit, but all of the reviews that are negative have some way of form mentioning either the fact it's too infuriating getting shot from nowhere, or the fact that there were too many cheaters, especially upon launch. Hello, son. I think that was supposed to be a kill animation, so it locked onto him, but yeah, that did not go too smoothly. We're just gonna no-scope a few lads now. Someone is behind me. It is, there is, oh god, it's a friend. You scared the hell out of me, man. Oh god, you've been shot on the head. I'm gonna try and move over this way. I know I can construct a spawn point, but we need to clear the area for, there he is. There's some other people around here, though, so we have to be very careful. Potentially through here. No, we're good. We're all right. Not good timing. Oh, yes. Now that is an Isonzo moment. That is an Isonzo moment. 1-for-1, the kill trade. They also massively changed the way that the game actually plays, because this isn't really about individual kills. In fact, it's so much more about your team and the objectives that you're taking, being able to put down and build spawn points. That getting individual kills is no longer something that you have to worry about, if anything, especially when it comes to the maps themselves. The maps work in a bit of a different way to a lot of FPSs. This is almost a 3-tier map system. So you play 3 maps in this war that goes on for a long, long time, and I'm not peeking that again. There's no way. There's just an MG there. I cannot out-peek him, especially when he's got his sights trained on me. It means, as you saw earlier, that there are people that will do the menial tasks like becoming engineers and working through building up barricades and putting down spawn points, because you aren't rewarded for getting the most kills. You're rewarded for winning with your team. And that was so embarrassing. That was so embarrassing. I do actually have the fire to kind of block my... Am I going to get hurt by this? Yep, I'm okay. I'm on fire. A lot of things like even Hell Let Loose, where it's trying to be realistic, barbed wire doesn't really do too much. It kind of slows you down and annoys you, but other than that, it's mostly just a way of dynamically changing the map. This game, barbed wire is a huge feature. And my ears have gone. Okay, we're heading into the gas now. Let's put on our gas masks. Now, Isonzo gameplay-wise takes a lot more from a Tannenberg than it does a Verdun. It is much less about the static gameplay, and much like Tannenberg, is about continuously moving forward, pushing through objectives, and trying to capture certain points. You'll see officers that will be giving out orders, you'll see bombing runs coming in, and you'll see enemies that look a lot like friendlies all the time, and it is incredibly confusing. I've lost my ears again. Immersion-wise, the sound design is on point with something like a Verdun. Oh god, this is actually different mustard gas. Well, let's put this bad boy on. It wasn't needed. You don't need to worry about mustard gas if you get your legs blown off. Now, they do some things to try and limit some of the game. So you can only have a certain amount of marksman classes, and even within the marksman class, only a few guys can actually have scapes, which is why I'm playing as marksman with iron sights. It is infuriating, but it's just a way to balance out the game, because snipers are very powerful. However, not as powerful as they were in Verdun. Because of the nature of the more static gameplay of Verdun, snipers would pretty much dominate the battlefield, which is, I assume, the reason that they went with the decision to limit it in this game. But I mean, you can see the buildings, you can see how this game works. It's nothing like Verdun in terms of its gameplay style. There's plenty of cover all the time, everywhere, especially when there's smoke around. I don't have any grenades. I am playing as a marksman, but I've just been hit by something, so I'm going to have to get in here. Oh, God. I'm trying to bandage, son. Don't shoot me while I'm trying to bandage. Please don't come around the corner. You made a mistake there. I was just baiting you. Okay, we have captured the chapel. Oh god, you're a friend. Oh mate, don't do that, son. I'm so glad friendly fire is not on. Okay, they're starting to throw gas in here now. And fire their MGs. Got it in their sights. Adding in the Hungarian faction as well was a breath of fresh air, and Austro-Hungary is something that has never really had a look in, and they were a massive part of World War I, but no games really feature them. Even World War I games, they seem to just, okay, let's go with France and Germany. Even though Austro-Hungarians were like the start of the war. They were a huge part of why it became a world war in the first place. And I need to get in hide next to Mary. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. You see, there's also a big factor of team play, as mentioned before, but it means that people actually do heal you. Medics actually do work, unlike every Battlefield game ever. Yeah, do a quick skirt around here. Take off my gas mask, because it does definitely... Wait, am I still in it? Okay, I guess I'm still in the gas. Sorry about that, lads. The gas completely changes the dynamics of the game, and it means you have to really change up your playstyle, because that whole area is sort of off limits now, because people don't want to go in there, because you can't really see anything with the gas mask on. I mean, in Battlefield 1, as far as I'm aware, they just made it so you couldn't use iron sights or ADS at all. But I think, I don't know, that's not exactly the way that it would have happened. So still being able to use it, but just massively hindering your eyesight is more preferable. Someone has just cut through this barbed wire, which, yes, you can do. You can get wire cutters and make your way through there, meaning that even though barbed wire can change the way that you attack certain areas, it can also be destroyed. And you, as an attacker, Jesus Christ, can form the barbed wire as much as the defenders can put it down wherever they want. I think I'm out of bandages now. Overall, I think Isonzo, gameplay-wise, graphics-wise, in terms of a fuller game, I think is better than both Verdun and Tannenberg. Out of the three, it is the strongest overall game. I still think Verdun has that real strength of being a unique World War 1 shooter and perhaps being the most immersive in total. And Tannenberg was a really good learning curve and was when they really started to come more into their own of trying to fit into that mainstream while keeping the historically accurate weapons and gameplay style. But Isonzo, I think, has almost perfected it. So I'll be interested to see where the series goes next. Probably going to get slaughtered here. You just tanked it again. How are these people tanking my shots?